Hello everyone! I'm having technical difficulties with my camera, so give me 1 second. Balance. It won't balance. How is everyone today? This thing will not balance for me. Hello, Rachel. I had this all set up and of course it's not working now. Of course. Hello everyone. Trying to get this done and it's not working. Okay. Please pray this stays. Stay. Will it stay? It won't stay. Okay. This is going to be difficult. I'm going to do it one-handed. Alright, hello everyone. Hello Victoria. Hello Lynn. Trying to wave at everyone. Rachel's here. I'm hoping you guys can see me. So, it is day 4, right? So excited. Day 4 of Samhain Social. I'm going to let some people come in. Thank you all for being here with me today. My name is Susie, aka Madam Z, and I am a magical life coach. I teach women and empower women to come out of the witchy broom closet. And I want this camera to stay, but it's not going to stay. Can I tape it down? Can I just tape it down? So today we are going to talk about candle wax divination. Please stay. Stay. I have to be very careful with my camera so it doesn't fall. So, welcome all of the students of the night. Today we're going to dive into candle wax divination. Yay! I am going to be looking over here at my camera and to see that everybody can hear me and my notes, and I can check out comments, make sure that I am live. I'm hoping I am live. I can't see me. Give me 1 second. We'll just wait for some other people come in. How is everyone enjoying the Samhain Social? Samhain Social, and thank you, Rachel, for hosting it. And I am not seeing me live in this group. I hope that I am live. I hope I am, right? I'm going to have to scroll this way. I don't want to touch my camera. There we go. Finally, internet is janky. So, hello, everyone. Hello, I'm going to be looking on this side, so comments are coming in a little bit slow, so give me a chance to respond. Hello, everyone. Rachel's here, Lynn's here. And so, let us get started, and I'm going to talk about candle wax divination. I did my intro, so if you're new to me, thank you for sharing this sacred space with me. I am a 2nd degree high priestess, and I mentor newbie witches and empower them to come out of the broom closet. I also have a metaphysical witchy school, which is Madam Z's School of Witchery. So I'll post all that stuff in there later, but no one wants to hear that. We want to get just the good stuff, right? And I have some freebies for you for the people who stay around to the end. I'm going to post lots of freebies, lots of cool stuff for you guys. So, how many of you have done candle wax divination? Give me some hearts or some thumbs up. Let me know if you've ever done. Yeah, we got some people that have done candle wax divination. Now, I'm going to talk about just the history of it, the art of it, what it entails, and then I'm going to do a demo, a little short demo on how I do candle wax divination, because there's so many different ways to do it. Nice. Thank you. So, let's look. My camera's going to be janky. I know it is. I know it's going to fall over, and I hate that. Okay, so, why do we use candles for divination? Okay. We use them for spiritual purposes. We use them for rituals, during ceremonies, and for petitions, right? What our wants, what our needs are, what our wishes are, and also for prayers, or for putting things out and manifesting into the universe what we want and what our truest desires are. Okay, That is why it is important to do scrying and candle magic and candle work. Does everybody have their tea? I have a drink. So, I am a huge lover of candle magic and scrying, but I want to talk about the different types of candles, and I'm trying not to touch my table, trying not to touch my stuff. So, let's look at the very first one, which is like a tapered candle. Everybody knows what a tapered candle looks like, right? So we're going to go over the different types, and this is what a tapered candle looks like. Okay. It's just long and thin. It's your basic candle that you get everywhere. Please don't fall. And then we have our chime candles. And this is what I use a lot. It's just a smaller tapered candle, and it just brings the spell to the universe faster versus a long, huge, bigger tapered candle or a 7-day jar candle, which we're going to talk about that. And these are votive candles. And you can get small ones that are coming about this size, or you can get bigger votive candles, whichever. I'm trying to get it closer. There you go. Now y'all can see. That's a votive candle. And then we have the regular jar candles, right? You can get small ones and big ones, whichever one that you like. These are jar ones. And just a tip, repurpose these for your herbs, to keep your herbs in. And then we have what I call figure candles. Now, figure candles don't necessarily need to be in the shape or form of a figure. It just is a way of labeling candles that are in shapes. Okay? So, because these candles like this really isn't in a shape. Okay? So, here's a figure candle. And this is what I use for spell work to do on love rituals, breakup rituals, bringing together people. You have a male and a female, but this is one type of figure candle. And there's the wick at the top, so you burn it. Okay. And then the next one, here's another figure candle. This is another figure candle, but it is in the form of a skull. You guys can see that. So that is another form of figure candle. And then we have our huge pillar candles. And this is what I call my working candle. When I always have a working candle, which is just basically a white candle, going at every time I'm doing magic. It'll be on the side. It'll be in the front of my spell. I always have one big, huge working candle. But this is a jar candle. So you want to use this. And they do have 7-day jar spells. They have 7-day knob candles. They have all different kinds of candles. So don't be afraid to just pick one and just work with it. They have different meanings. You have pyramids. You have ones that are in shape of cauldrons. You have ones that are in shape of hearts if you want to do love readings, that kind of thing. So those are the different kinds. Let me try to catch up on the comments, you guys. Yeah, it's okay, Luann, if you're a little late. Yay, everybody's here. Okay, so we're good on that. Okay, so when you do candle wax scrying, which is what our class is going to be today about, scrying, there's so many different types of scrying, so I want to go into what scrying really is and the different types of scrying. I know we're just doing the candle wax, but I want to get you a little bit a history of what different types of scrying is, so you're familiar with the different types of scrying. So scrying is an ancient form of divination. Okay, if you look at how long we've had candles, right, for long time, they were originally used for like a lighting or a heat source, and then we started using it for divination. So it lost its more practical kind of use and went into more divination and more scrying and receiving messages. The act of scrying is usually achieved by gazing into something. You want to relax your eyes, and it brings you into a meditative state. So you can really look at the symbols, look at the wax, look at the signs that are the universe and the God and Goddess is trying to tell you, or your guides are trying to tell you. You usually want to do it on a reflective surface. If you're doing, scrying in a mirror, which we'll talk about that, or what I'm going to be doing is candle wax and water scrying. And it allows you to open your inner eye, or your third eye, which my third eye is covered by my raven. I am bringing in the Goddess Morgan this class because I feel that the Goddess Morgan needs to be here while we're doing divination and that time of year. So welcome, Goddess Morgan. So this is your third eye area, so the divination of wax will let you work more powerfully with your third eye and intuition and receive those messages. Okay, let me check the comments. Hi, Marissa. Hello, LaTanya. Okay, so what do we usually call scrying practitioners? They're usually referred to as like readers or seers or oracles. They give you analysis of future events, predict distance traveling, what you need to be aware of, what signs the universe is trying to tell you, and it helps you make choices of the current situation and what's going on, whether you're on the right track, whether you need to stop, whether you need to find an alternative solution to what's going on. It'll give you insight into the person's issues, the person's problems, and the situation at hand. So that is why we love scrying. If anybody is here that loves scrying, any type of scrying, you are in the right place for sure. I love scrying. Please stay. Camera's a little wobbly. So let me catch up on comments. Yeah, Luann's like, I love Morgan. Isn't she cool? She's badass, pretty much. Okay, so let's go briefly over the types of scrying that is available before we actually start looking at what's going into our demonstration for our candle wax. So we have wax, candle wax, scrying, which is what we're going to talk about today. But there's different forms. It's interesting, and it's like a rabbit hole, right? There's like divination within divination within divination within divination, right? You can do candle wax divination, but there's so many different ways of doing candle wax divination. So it's done by drip. This is how I do it. I drip the wax into water, and I will show you how to do that. Or you can melt the candle and watch the flame, right? And you can get divination on that. We'll talk about that. And you can also look to see how the wax runs down the side of the candle. If I can show you that. How it runs down the side of the candle, how it puddles or pools at the bottom after it's actually burned completely out. You can scry on that, see if it's more on the left side or the right side, if there's anything, symbols within the candle wax, what formation there is in the candle wax. There's so much to learn about it. So this is just a small class. Like I said, you could really get into this. So, but I'm going to show you how to do the candle wax with the water divination. The cloud scrying is when you look at the clouds and you try to see images and shapes, and that is called cloud divination, cloud gazing, cloud divination, observing the clouds and the shapes that it forms to receive messages. Now, mirror divination or mirror scrying is another one where you have a total black mirror and it's reflective. And you use it for receiving messages and looking and receiving images that come through your third eye, and scenes will emerge. So that's another interesting one. A lot of people use that mirror scrying. Water is another popular one. Images perceived in objects such as pebbles dropping into the water and how it ripples and what you can see in that. what you do is you just throw a piece of a little pebble in there and watch the water ripple, and you'll see images and shapes form. Metal scrying, I've never done metal scrying. It is like using melted metal and water. It's almost the same thing that I'm going to be showing you now, except I'm going to be using candle wax. And the metal hardens into different shapes, which is pretty cool if you're into metalworking. If you're into any of that type of anvil kind of blacksmith stuff. Another one is oil. You can use oil you can use oil for looking at shapes, and you want to drop it in the water too, or in a cup or in a plate. And I'm going to show you a little bit. My way is kind of insane, eclectic, because mine incorporates all of this, kind of a little bit of all of it, except for the metal. So, and fire scrying is huge. I love to watch and receive messages from my guides and goddess when I am actually sitting at a campfire, and I scry through the flames and the embers, and that is a huge meditative state for me. Now you can do fire scrying or candle flame scrying is kind of the same thing, but I get more messages when I'm sitting at a bonfire than I do with the flame. With flame scrying, I just watch the shape of the flame, how it's burning, if it's burning to the left, if it's a strong flame, if it's a not strong flame. I really don't look at a lot of messages or receive a lot of messages within the flame, but I get a lot of messages through fire, through a campfire. Let me check messages real fast. Luann loves fire. Rebecca is, oh, I've had metal scrying in my silver work. Didn't realize it. There you go, Rebecca. Now you can start scrying, right? And yeah, so that would be cool to do. That would be cool. I don't have the space to do any of the metal scrying, but that would be cool. Smoke scrying is another one. It is almost the same thing as clouds, except for using smoke, especially in like a fire or a candle. You actually look at messages through the smoke that is rising up through your embers or your fire, and look for detailed and spiritual messages that the guides are trying to show you. Crystal ball gazing is another one. Everybody's heard about that, right? You get your crystal ball and you gaze on it and you receive messages that way. I have several crystal balls. I know a lot of people use the smaller ones when they're using the portable ones. They have ones that they love. So crystal ball is probably a really popular one. Now, you'll find one that is not so common. I've seen these at a couple of metaphysical and spiritual fairs. It's called eye gazing, and they look in your eye. Or it's called soul gazing. And it's a form of scrying involves looking deep within the person's eyes and observing the reflections that they see within your eye. So that is kind of not as popular, but I have seen it. So those are the different ones, different types of scryings. There's so many. You can do tea leaves. The tea leaves not even in here, right? Everybody knows tea leaf readings. So that is just the different types, the most popular ones. Okay, so let me look and see if anybody has any questions. Used to do fire scrying, haven't for years now. Well, Deb, you got to get back into it. It's fall. Go light a fire. And Luann says, I do the bonfires, is my favorite. Yes, I love fire. I'm a fire person. Okay, so let's get started on the demo. Okay. Now, I'm hoping my camera does not freak out or fall over, and I'm hoping you guys can see this. But before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about... Aw, Deb's a shut-in. Aw. They do have those fires on your computer. You'll probably scry through that. Or you can scry with a little cauldron, like a little cauldron. before I get started, I do want to do a little bit about what I call dressing a candle and writing sigils on the candle. So you have a candle right here, right? And this is just a different way to do spell work. There's so many layers to it. I'm trying to show you different layers of it. What you do, say you have a candle. You can dress it with olive oil, any kind of oil that you have. I love olive oil or grapeseed oil or something, any kind of oil. And you rub your hands in it and you dress it with the oil. You dress it with herbs that correspond to your spell. Okay, if you're doing a love spell, you want roses and lavender, and you dress that spell with your oil and lavender. If you're doing a spell for money, you want to do like bay leaf and cinnamon and anything that attracts money. So that's just going to oomph your spell up and oomph your scrying up. So it's different layers that we're building to receive our messages and to get us closer to our guides in divination. And you can also take a pen, or I use a quill, porcupine quill, and carve in the wax your symbols or your sigils or your signs or a name if you're doing spell work for a loved one, or you're doing a spell work for someone who needs to pay their bill or owes you money. You can scry their name in it, and then you can watch the candle wax burn, and you can do the divination that way. Make sure, another thing that you want to do is make sure you get the right color that goes with the spell, color correspondence. What did you say? Money. Yes, money. There's a program on fire for there you go, see? So, and another layer is if you want to like really get deep into what you want to do, you're scrying, you want to get candles that are colored that correspond with what spell you're doing. For instance, if you're doing a love spell, you would use red, which is why this is red. Okay. If you're doing a friendship spell, you want to do pink. Or love spell is pink. Passion is red. Passion is different than like pink. Pink is like, oh, so sweet, nice, innocent. Passion is fire, red. You know, you are really connected to each other. So that is the different ones. Use green candles if you're doing a money spell. Use yellow if you want like happiness, to bring happiness back in your life, or use purple or blue if you want to do more of a healing type. So you can look at the different colors that correspond with what spell that you're doing. So like I said, you're layering all these stuff before you even start your candle wax divination, right? So much to it. So let me get started though, and let me show you. Whoa, see? Let me show you. Stay. If I can get this camera right, I'm going to show you how I start this. Are you guys okay with this? Can you guys see that okay? You guys can see that? Let me look in the camera and make sure. I'm trying to get as close as I can so you guys can see. So give me a second to position everything for you. And I'll move it a little closer. I think that's good. Is everybody okay with that? I'm going to give it a couple seconds for you guys to respond. Looks good? Yes? Okay. Looks good. This is my scrying bowl. It's got herbs and stuff in it too, because I use it all the time. So this is one of my high priestesses who taught me. I got wax on there too. How to do scrying, and this is her gift to me. So this is very magical. This is my scrying. Okay. So what I do is I either sage the area and sage my bowl, or I use a sacred smudge, which I'm doing here. This is my sacred smudge spray that I make myself. And I spray my area, and I cleanse it of all negative energy, and I only invoke love and light and positive and truth. It is very important that you cleanse your area and your ritual space before you start. Okay. And then what I do next is, if you guys can see this, I have a crystal. And you want to put either a clear quartz in there as far as just a general crystal, or you want to put in a gemstone that corresponds with your spell. Okay, so I put that in the bottom. So this is how I do my spell work, and I'm really like amping this up. Okay, so many layers to spell working. And this is my sacred moon water. So this has been charged under the moon. And I fill that up with water. I'm going to put a little bit more in it, so please don't fall, camera. Just in case I ran out, so I have some more. There we go. So your bowl is now filled with charged water with the crystal. Make sure you guys can see that, right? Okay. And then what I do is I put just 1 drop of your essential oil in, whatever oil you want to use. If you want to get really into it, if I can open this, there you go. Then you want to do your love, your peppermint oil, your protection, whatever you are doing, you just want to put a couple drops in there. And that is just cleansing the oil, the water, I'm sorry, and getting it ready for scrying. See, there's a lot to it, right? You're like, oh my God, can you just get to it? This is what I do for a living. This is what I love to do. So we are all infused, right? We have cleared our space. We have infused it with our magical oils, our water, our charged water, our crystal. So now what I do is I do have my candle wax that I'm using. Now here is a tip. This is my magic wand and I put it on there. You can use your finger, you can use whatever you want to use to stir your water. Now here is something that you can do and get deeper into scrying. You can actually, what I call, quarter these off. Quarter your scrying bowl off. Like this, if you dedicate the left hand, if you're doing a love spell, let's say we're doing a love spell, just for, practice. This side is going to be her. This side is going to be him. Okay? So you want to make sure that you can dedicate that to either whatever workings that you want to. You don't have to, but this is something that I do if I'm working on a love spell. Now, here's another thing you can do. You can quarter it off this way and dedicate it. The top is the spiritual realm. The bottom is your earth kind of realm. Okay? That's just another way that I do it. You don't have to do this. That's just the way I do it to get a better type of reading. Okay, and here's what I do. I take my wand and I dip it in there. And then I take it and I do a sigil. We're infused in it with light and love. And I call in my goddess and my guides. Take a couple deep breaths and connect with the universe. Call in my guides. Call in my protection. See, I'm leaning to the right already. Alright, so then I take my wand and I'm stirring the water. Now, clockwise, if you want to bring in something like love or money, prosperity. Counterclockwise, if you want to get rid of something like you want to banish or bad habits, or you want to, get rid of something that no longer serves you, bad thinking, That is the way you do it. Now, stir, stir. Then I start pouring my wax. And you'll see it. And I keep stirring so it goes around. Now these are short pours. And you can do long ones, which are like long and short. And you start looking and scrying for the shapes of which you see as they go around. This one looks like a flower to me. Does anybody see any shapes? There were herbs in the water, yes, they were left over. And you can see the clumps together. And you really want to look at things that are under the surface of the water versus that are surfaces that are shapes that are on the surface of the water. This one right here to me looks like a worm, or looks like an inchworm. Okay? This one to me looks like a little dinosaur. This one is a hammer, straight up hammer. This one looks like I said a rose or a bud. So you want to really get into the scrying of it, get into the details of it. Does anybody see anything? Butterfly, cloud, scorpion tail. Awesome. A fairy. See, you guys are getting it. Yay. Yeah, that's a hammer. And that is how you read messages. Now, like I said, you want to look at ones that stick to the bottom and ones that are more under the surface versus ones that have come up to the surface. The ones that are beneath the water are what I call the shadow side, or ones that haven't surfaced yet, and ones that are you need to really pay attention to, and really like it's almost like a warning or an omen that's coming up. Now, when you see it settle, or you think that these look like little fish too, little fishies. Now and that one's starting to look like a skull too. So when something turns around, this one looks like a rose, and the more it turns, it looks like a skull. So you want to say, if you're doing a love thing, you want to say you want to be aware of something that is coming to you in your love life, that you really love, that this person is really connected to, that might come to an end. Your feelings may come to an end. The situation may come to an end because the skull always represents death, right? And rebirth. Don't forget to say that. Death and rebirth. So there's another skull too in there. So yeah, here's a tip. You want to find a surface that you can, is kind of like an opposite. If you're doing a dark bowl, you want to find light candles so you can read easily. Or if you have a white bowl, find dark candles. So, a feather, I see a seahorse. Yeah, I saw a seahorse too, and a dragon, a fairy. Yay! So, and another thing you can do, here's a thing. You can stir it again if you're like, that one looks like a little moon right there. If you guys can see that. And what else do you guys see? So this one looks like a straight up skull. So, feather and the seahorse, I know. And here is another thing you can do. So when you think you are finished, you're like, all right, I think I'm done with this one. I think I'm good. You can just scoop it out. There's nothing wrong with scooping it out. And you can save the wax or you can discard it. Look at this big chunk right here. This is all gnarly. So that's not really good. If you had a strainer, it would be better. Right? So this is what is called like reshuffling the cards if you're a tarot reader. You're just resetting it. Get out as much as you can. This one had a lot of little things, which means if you're doing a spell for love, they're not coming together. I didn't see a whole lot of clumps together except for maybe one big one, but if they're clumped together, that means they are together. So let me get most of the wax out, and let's do another one just to see. So let us stir in the opposite direction this time. And this is what I call, like, if you're a tarot reader, you're just reshuffling and resetting the stage. And I'm going to pour some more. There we go. And there we go. And now my candle's out, so the gods and goddesses are like, that's enough scrying for today. So see how these ones are more clumpy together? Tons of clumps, right? Tons of big. This one right here, you see, is not even moving. That one's stagnant. So that person has a block, for sure. And if you want to look at this, that one looks like a horse to me, which is traveling. This one looks like a baby footprint and a tadpole. So that may even be like, watch out, you are about to get pregnant. And that one looks like a whale. What else does everybody see? A dolphin. I know I saw that too, a whale. Does it mean which direction you start? Does it matter? Yes. If you want to bring stuff in or to manifest something, you want to stir clockwise. If you want to release or you want to let things go, you want to use it counterclockwise. So now look how it's stopping. Now, if you, like I said, quarter these off, right? All of this is on her side. So all of her feelings are her feelings, and he doesn't have any. Matter of fact, he doesn't really like her because all of his feelings are clumped up in this one little clump. So all of the feelings, if this is a love reading, this would be a one-sided relationship, a one-sided type of feeling. He doesn't really have any feelings for her. It's all her. Okay? And that looks like a person right here. To me, this right here kind of looks like a person. So that represents him. Holding on to his feelings right here. So let's say it stopped. All of the feelings are on her side. There's no feelings on his side. So if this was a client, I would tell them, look, the feelings are not mutual. Don't get attached to this person. Okay? Because the feelings are not mutual. It's all one-sided. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? I see a map, so the person could be some traveling across the. Yes, map. Alright, I'm going to try to move this up. And does anybody want to look any more into it? Is everybody done to see what they can see? A woman in a long skirt, yes. And that would represent her. I still see this baby right here. This baby footprint right here, which I don't know if you can see because it's very tiny. So here's what I would caution this person also to. Use precaution if they're having sex, because he is not going to stick around if she comes up pregnant. He will not be there because he has no feelings for her whatsoever. It's all her. So I would very much caution her to be protected, to protect herself, and to protect her womb for sure. I see a crash woman. Yes, this one to me, I'm not sure if you're looking at that one or not. But can you see how it's all on one side? And I had I think I'm going to move this up now. Is everybody okay with me moving it up? Yeah. Please don't fall. Let's say a prayer that it doesn't fall, that this works. Yay, please move up. There we go. Please move. Okay. Might be a little crooked, but we're going to leave it there. And I'm going to move this over here so it does not fall. And jack up my camera. Okay. So, and that is how I do wax scrying. See what happens when it falls? Wax scrying. It's a little bit different. Let me get everybody situated here. There you go. So it's a little bit different than everybody else's wax scrying. But it still is the same. You still get the same type of reading. Okay. Do you have a way to tell what the symbols mean? Yes. Thank you. That I have that free PDF for you that gives you the symbols and their meanings, and also what colors to use. So you will get in the freebie the color correspondence, and also what the symbols mean. Now, this is very, hi Pam, let me wave at Pam. This is a very, I'm trying to get you guys right. This is very what I call intuitive reading. I can give you a list of symbols, right? I can give you the list and what their meanings are. But you are the only one that is connected to your client, to you, to the energy. Only you can interpret these readings the way you see, the way you feel, okay? So just because you think you see, you know, I don't know, maybe you think you see like clouds, and most people think, well, clouds mean, you know, you're not clearly thinking, your thoughts are, you know, clouded, they're not, you know, you're not thinking straight. This may mean something else to you. Okay, so you want to go with your intuition. I like the method as I'm a water person, water goddess. Yes, welcome, water goddess. And this made a whole lot of sense to me. Yes. So, I will put a description of the class and what's going on and where to contact me and your freebie. Okay, as soon as I get off here, I can't do it on my phone right now. So look for the description and look for all the links to find me. You can always find me on all over the place under Madam Z Tarot. So I have, hey Ashley, let me wave to Ashley. So does anybody have any questions before I sign off and end this? Thank you for hanging out with me through all the technical stuff. I appreciate your patience, and I hope you enjoyed this class. It's a little bit different than just watching the wax flow down the side, right, of the candle. So it's a little bit different. Latanya's is fun. Yay! Thank you, Latanya. I'm so glad you're here. So on that note, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to close out the reading and say goodbye to the Goddess Morgan for us and thanking her for being here with us. Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Marissa. All right, I think I'm going to close out, my friends. Awesome. I love the information. Oh, thank you, Luann. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are so sweet. So with that, I'm going to close out, and don't forget to come back in about 2 seconds, and I will have the information up on where to find me, my links, your freebies, your cool stuff, all your, you know, stuff that you could get. And you can always send me a friend request. I'm here to connect with you, and I'm here to help you. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid to say hello. I love your class. I want to work with you. What else do you got going on? I'm here for you. I'm here for you, my sisters, and your magical path and your magical workings. All right, witch on, my sisters. Bye, y'all.